Hey everyone, welcome back to Apollo Art Analysis. This episode we're going to be checking out a piece from the established neo-expressionist known as Ian Jones. This episode we're going to be talking about this incredible sense of vibrant energy here. We're going to talk about the root of neo-expressionism, and we're also going to talk about the influences of the kind of symbolism of the skull. So let's jump right into it. So whenever you first see this work, you're met with the scene of a lone skull here. It is quite a mystical introduction. Of course, we have this black background, so it certainly pops out and catches our eye instantly. So you'll notice that our subject is set in the center here, so the kind of visual impact is certainly intensified through this kind of light on dark contrast, but also through placement as well. Of course, when an element is placed in the center, it feels like everything revolves around it, so our eye is certainly drawn to that instantly. And so aside from that, in the realm of color, we have an incredible vibrant and incredibly diverse color palette. So you see, of course, that kind of emerald mint green, you have blues, you have pinks, purples, oranges, reds. They're all really mixing with each other, and really stunning introduction for sure. And so with that in mind, all these different colors, that really diverse color palette gives us a sense of visual energy. Of course, if you have these kind of both complementary and kind of fighting opposite colors, it's going to create a very energetic composition. So we certainly see that for sure. And also in the realm of texture, we see kind of this rough texture palette as well. So what you'll see here are these just incredible, almost endless layers within the work at hand, and certainly adds a bit of texture, whether it's harsh, whether it's a little bit of smooth, kind of that black background certainly kind of contrasts against that quite brilliantly. And so there also are an incredible amount of layers, and I brought one of Basquiat's famous works here, so you can just see the kind of layers that are inherent to neo-expressionism. So of course we have the work of Ian Jones right here, the larger piece, and then I got a copy of Basquiat's piece. So you'll see just that incredible layers. Of course we are looking at a face or a skull on both of those as well. Yeah, certainly those incredible sense of color, and then also all of those layers give an immense sense of energy. So very important whenever we're looking at that as well. And so, with this in mind, it's kind of staring directly at us. There is this sense of confrontation. It feels a little bit unsettling as well. You have this kind of hollow eyes. Of course, it mimics that kind of dark backing, so it feels like it's kind of void of any life or color. Of course, when we look at a skull, it also is going to feel that symbolism of death. We're going to go a bit deeper at that here in a second, but with this in mind, like I said, it feels very confrontational, staring directly at us, and just a stunning piece at that. And so with this texture and just the work at hand, there is this kind of harsh feeling. Of course, you have that rough texture, you have all of those layers, and of course this is a very fast, a very expressive piece, as you can see. Of course, visible brushstrokes kind of scratching along that black background. Just an incredible work for sure. And there is a sense of darkness within the work at hand. Of course, you have the skull, and then you also have that kind of midnight black backing. So both of those really work hand in hand, of course, to give us that harsh texture as well as that kind of dark theme here as well. So all very important whenever we're talking about this work. And so this does feel kind of chaotic. What I mean by that is, of course, you have that sense of energy, whether it's the texture, the vibrant color, all of that really works together. But aside from that, you also have the skull. So there's this sense of kind of death and chaos within the work at hand, especially when you see a skull next to kind of a black background. So it's going to give us a very dark and a very kind of daunting theme there for sure. And the skull is very important. Pretty much since the dawn of time, we have always been using skulls to kind of convey an archaic symbol of death. So a reminder of mortality, whether it's a memento mori or whether it's an actual kind of horror type of piece, we certainly see that here for sure. And so the skull, ancient, archaic symbol of death, and incredibly important. And we're also looking at a neo-expressionist piece. And so neo-expressionism is quite important because it shows non-objective forms. And within that, there's been an incredible evolution of that from, of course, neo-expressionism is a lot later, but non-objective forms everywhere from Van Gogh to Picasso to Matisse, Kandinsky. You have so many different people all the way to Basquiat and beyond. So neo-expressionism has seen an incredible amount of influence, incredible amount of evolution as time has gone on for sure. So Ian Jones is a neo-expressionist artist, so he does some great work within that. I actually had two more of his skull works that we're going to compare real quick, and then we're going to end it off here. So here I brought two different pieces from Ian Jones' ongoing skull series. You can certainly see the influence here. Of course, you have that black background. You have this really neon, intense color palette. Certainly catches the eye for sure. An incredible sense of texture. all of those layers always inherent to Neo-expressionism. So you look at all of these works and you certainly see a similarity. These are very fast, they're very expressive, whether it's kind of a quick scratch onto the pen, whether it's the kind of paint within the work at hand, that vibrance of color always catches the eye, and Ian Jones does an amazing job within the work of Neo-expressionism. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you guys did, go check out the original artist, Ian Jones. Always doing some really good stuff, and I'm always looking very closely. So if y'all did enjoy, go check out the original artist. And we talked about, Neo-expressionism, this really vibrant color palette, this kind of sense of texture, the archaic symbolism of the skull. We talked about a bunch of things today. So hope y'all enjoyed. Hope y'all learned something. My name is Apollo. This was Apollo Art Analysis, and I'll see y'all on the next episode. We hope you enjoyed today's episode. If you'd like to support our work directly, please check out our Apollo community tokens. Apollo Art Exchange is an ecosystem of art appreciation which elevates artists each and every day. Thanks for listening.